Hey guys, it's Jonah, and today's topic is coming out stories and advice. So, this is kind of really interesting for me because I came out 3, 4 times. So mine is a little tricky. I guess when I was like 10, I told my mom that I wanted to be a boy, and she kind of just asked me questions. It's one of those things that is just something to look back on and say, well, duh. I never really came out as gay or bi or anything of that sort, just because I hate labels as far as sexuality. As far as when you label yourself as trans, that's more of a self-identification rather than having to label your sexual preference. I believe that you don't really owe anyone a label or to come out as anything unless you feel you want to and you're ready. But as far as sexuality, I never came out or identified as anything because I don't really believe in that. I guess then in high school senior year, I told my mom that I was like serious about being trans and that I had been doing research, because that's around the same time that I started really finding the trans community online, and that's something that really helped me. So I guess that would be my first big come out. My mom and I are really close, so it wasn't I mean, I guess it was really hard just because I was really serious about it. No one really took me serious. So I guess the fact that I kind of went back in and came back out didn't help my cause, but that was senior year, and during that time I was really sick and at home, and I was completing my senior year from home, so I guess that kind of, my mom kind of looked at that as a factor too. But I was really just depressed during this time, and it was really bad. I didn't go to prom or my graduation because of this. I didn't feel comfortable in like dress clothes. I mean, I never did, but this was really a big time for me of just kind of hating myself, but also trying to figure myself out. But also being really, really ill and not being able to get out of bed. So, college came and I was still pretty sick, but I went for the most part. Around last year, November, I came out again, and I was like, I know that I went back in. I keep using that term, but I don't really know how else to phrase it. Is I basically just told everyone never mind is what happened. So I guess I brought it up again and told my mom again, and I told my girlfriend the first time too. But neither of them really understood or got it or thought I was serious. So, I guess the second time I was like, okay, I need to go to therapy this time and really figure myself out. I went to therapy the first time too, but I kind of just was afraid. Like, it was such a, like, the therapist basically told me it's okay to feel this way and it's not something you need to fix. So that scared me the first time, and that was like a big thing of why I kind of went back in. So then the second time I saw a therapist and kind of just pretended that it went away again. But I stayed off of social media and as far as the trans community, and I wanted to kind of let myself see if it would come back, which is such a weird thing. Like, to me it was like these thoughts of dysphoria, it just, that would like just engulf me, and it got unbearable and that's basically what happened to the third time. Is a few months later, I said, you know what, the internet isn't influencing me. I stayed off all the sites and stuff, which apparently they thought was like a problem. So, because I was easily influenced, I will say that. That time I stayed off and kind of let myself self-reflect without any outside forces, and I still felt that way. So, I went back to therapy and said, you know what, this is what I need to do to be happy, and, I got the confidence I needed to pursue it, and the place that I went didn't require a letter for testosterone, so I didn't need that, but the therapist kind of helped me as far as find my own confidence and stuff. Yeah, so the third time they just kind of were like, okay, you're definitely serious this time. And with my personality, it's necessary for me to do those types of things because I'm very, very impulsive. So I figured those years kind of leading up to it were necessary for me to gain confidence, as well as show people that I wasn't just impulsive about it. So this time I was definitely serious. So I had to start telling people beyond my mom and my girlfriend, who were the kind of my close-knit people. And that problem kind of led to my grandparents, who aren't as open-minded, I guess. So when it came to them, I just kind of wrote an email, which they did not respond to, but my mom ended up telling them before I even wrote the email. And my mom kind of told everyone at Easter, which I was not at, which kind of worked out because everyone was supportive apparently. So I would not recommend that, but with how my mom and I are, like our relationship with how we are, it worked for us, and it worked for how my family is. Probably not the ideal situation for anyone to be outed that way, but it worked for us, and it worked for me because no one was unsupportive. My grandparents aren't happy, but they didn't disown me. Advice: during the time that I was trying to get my mom to understand, my mom educated herself as well as I tried to educate her. She spent a lot of time and energy investing in books and documentaries that we would watch together, and sometimes she would read by herself and do things by herself, and some we would do together. I would send her links and say, you know, watch this at your own time when you feel comfortable, and I would send her articles and say, read this when you feel comfortable. I mean, she needed to educate herself, I think, was the thing, and she's one of those people that needs to understand something before she can accept it, and I think that's how a lot of parents are. And I think the main thing you need to do is, when you come at a parent with something, is you need to have information. Say, when you're ready to educate yourself, here's this. But I think what helped her mainly was talking to me. It does take time, and my mom still has trouble with it sometimes, but I'm definitely more understanding now that I've given her patience, and, well, I try to give her patience. I hope that this helped, and I hope that it made sense. If you do need any help, feel free to message me, and I'll try to help you in your personal situation as best as I can. But overall, my advice would be to have information and to be patient. Yeah, so thanks for watching. The internet isn't influence me. The internet isn't influence me.